Picture this, a 400-pound gorilla shot dead in a matter of seconds, and the child he was holding walked away without a single scratch.
Welcome back. Today, we're jumping straight into an explainer on an event that literally set the internet on fire and sparked a massive global debate that we are still talking about today: the 2016 Harambe incident. The Harambe verdict: protection or tragedy. It's a wildly complex story about a split-second decision, right? One that forces us to ask some seriously tough questions about protection, animal behavior, and human responsibility. We're going to look strictly at the facts of what happened, how the experts weighed in, and the lasting consequences of that day. Okay, let's dive into this, because before all the chaos, there was just Harambe. He was a 17-year-old Western lowland gorilla living at the Cincinnati Zoo. His keepers didn't describe him as some looming threat. No, they described him as gentle, curious, and highly intelligent. This wasn't just a random animal pacing in an enclosure. This was a sentient, thinking creature with a very distinct personality. So keep that intelligence and curiosity in mind as we go forward, because man, it is absolutely crucial to everything that happens next.
Section 1. The Fateful Day, May 28, 2016.
So at minute 0, the unthinkable happens. A 3-year-old boy falls directly into the gorilla enclosure. Moments later, Harambe is right there, interacting with the child. The video of this, which, let's be real, was watched by millions of us around the world, shows Harambe dragging the child through the water. But witnesses on the scene reported something else too. They said Harambe was actually standing over the boy, almost like he was shielding him. Meanwhile, up above, the crowd is just screaming in sheer terror. And here is a critical detail we've got to understand. That screaming crowd was making the situation vastly more dangerous, not less. It just added total chaos to the environment. And then, the final step on our timeline. Within just 10 seconds of the decision being made, a lethal shot is fired. Moving on to Section 2, curiosity or danger, interpreting those actions.
And this brilliantly illustrates a massive divergence in how people saw this. When a 400-pound gorilla is standing over a toddler, what are you actually looking at? Well, on the left, we have primatologists. These are highly trained animal behavior experts who reviewed the footage, and they stated that Harambe's body language actually showed curiosity, not aggression. They noted he was engaging in protective shielding over the boy and was visibly confused by all that chaotic noise from the crowd. But look at the right side. For the zoo officials on the ground, the reality was stark. A wounded, confused 400-pound gorilla is an unpredictable and potentially deadly threat to a human child. We have two completely different realities colliding in real time here. Now, we aren't here to take a side, but rather to understand exactly how both of these perspectives were weighed when time was literally running out.
Section 3, the lethal decision. 2 impossible choices.
So the officials basically had 2 options on the table. Option 1, use a tranquilizer. Option 2, take a lethal shot. As we all know, they chose lethal force. But why? Their exact reasoning was rooted in biology and honestly in time. A tranquilizer doesn't work instantly like it does in the movies, right? It takes several minutes to actually take effect in an animal of that massive size. And worse, darting a 400-pound gorilla carries a huge risk of agitating him. A wounded, confused gorilla could instantly become vastly more dangerous than a calm one. They felt they simply couldn't risk those precious minutes. So they went with the second option: the immediate elimination of the perceived threat to the child. So the crucial point is 10. Just 10 seconds. 10 seconds to execute a fatal shot that ended Harambe's life. And the result of that rapid, lethal action, the child had 0 injuries. He walked away completely, physically unharmed. A 400-pound silverback was neutralized in seconds, and a toddler was saved. But the story definitely doesn't end when the footage stops.
Section 4, tragedy and accountability. Let's look at the fallout. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the number, 250,000. That might sound like a lot in a vacuum, but if we're talking about an entire global species, it is heartbreakingly small. To put that into perspective, you could fit that entire population into just a couple of large sports stadiums. That is exactly how few critically endangered Western lowland gorillas remain in the wild today. Harambe wasn't just another zoo exhibit. He was a vital, living piece of the puzzle for the very survival of his entire species. Let's move to this and see how this builds up, because when we summarize the facts, the tragedy really comes into full focus. Western lowland gorillas are critically endangered. Harambe was an active, absolutely vital part of a breeding program, and his death caused a significant setback to worldwide conservation efforts. Think back to those experts we discussed earlier. Multiple primatologists came forward after the shooting to confirm he was displaying protective, not predatory behavior. The facts remain. He never harmed the child. He never threatened the crowd. Yet a crucial breeding member of a dying species was lost forever, literally in the blink of an eye. A gorilla shot in 10 seconds, 0 injuries to the child, 0 accountability after the dust settled. So I leave you with this really powerful unanswered question. Who was actually responsible that day? When you consider the sheer chaos of the crowd, the open enclosure, the split-second decisions, and the loss of a critically endangered animal, did they make the right call? Take a moment to really think about that. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.